Please welcome Indonesian Minister of Law and Human Rights, the Honorable Yasonna Laoly.
Good morning, everybody. The Honorable Co-Chairs, Madam Katrina Lantos-Sweat and Mr. Sam Brownback, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee for inviting me to take part in this important summit. It is an honor for me to be here among all world dignitaries and have this opportunity to deliver a keynote speech at this important forum with the theme, Why IRF Matters in the Modern World. At the outset, let me refer to the growing number of multidimensional tensions around the globe. Such tension as inter- and intra-religious conflicts can become really intense. And in many cases, the root causes have little to do with religion, but triggered by political power, economic disparity, social and cultural background, demography, and ethnicity. It requires common efforts through dialogue to improve mutual understanding, tolerance, and reconciliations among peoples and cultures in different areas of the world. Our gathering at the IRF Summit can address this issue comprehensively. As participants of this summit represent government and civil society leaders from different countries. We can also exchange our experience and best practices on how to manage the challenges of social cultural diversity, promoting religious freedom around the globe. Indeed, IRF can contribute significantly to maintaining international peace and security. Allow me to share with you some facts. Indonesia is home to around 280 million people, making it the world's fourth most populous nation after China, India, and the United States. It has more than 300 ethnic groups, 700 tribal languages, and a diverse culture and religion. This great diversity is reflected in the country's motto, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means unity in diversity. Indonesia is state party to 8 main instruments of human rights, namely civil and political rights, economic, social, and cultural rights, anti-torture, elimination of discrimination against women, elimination of race discrimination, children's rights, rights of persons with disabilities, and rights of migrant workers. Indonesia has also developed partnerships in the form of bilateral human rights dialogue with several countries. In terms of religion, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world, where 80% of its population adhere to Islam and the rest are Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, and other beliefs. Being the largest Muslim population, Indonesia is not an Islamic country with Sharia law. Indonesia implements a mixed legal system with civil law as the main legal system adopted from the Dutch colonial law. In some cases, we also recognize customary law and religious from low Muslim populations. We do have shortcomings and face challenges in maintaining harmony among diverse society. That is why our nation founding fathers agreed to choose Pancasila, which means 5 principles, as the official foundation and philosophy of the state of Indonesia. It consists of, first, belief in one Almighty God. Second, just and civilized humanity. Third, the unity of Indonesia. Fourth, democracy guided by the wisdom of deliberations among representatives. And fifth, social justice. These 5 principles were set out by Indonesia's first president, Sukarno, during the formulation of the 1945 Constitution, and is a compromise among different factions. It continues to be the nation foundation and philosophy that unites the diverse population, Indonesian population, until now. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom of religion is a non-derogable right, which cannot be infringed as a fundamental right as enshrined in Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Guaranteeing full equality of religious freedom for all Indonesian citizens is the basic principle protected by law and valued by culture as the way of life of Indonesian people. Basically, efforts to promote and protect human rights are clearly mandated by the 1945 Constitution. Indonesia's constitution clearly stated in Article 28 that everyone is free to adhere to a religion and worship according to the religion. Article 29 affirms that the state guarantees the freedom of religion and the right for all citizens to practice it as the fundamental human rights. These provisions are further regulated in various laws and regulations, including Law Number 39, year 1999, on human rights. In general, the life of religious freedom in Indonesia is not as bad as reflected in some reports. We have long experience practicing religious freedom even during the colonial rule and before we gained our independence in 1945. The issue is more dominant now after the reform era started in 1998 and respect of human rights is strengthened. It raises some concerns when the right to freedom of religion is considered as an exclusive right enjoyed by some people without respecting the right of others to have different religions and beliefs. This situation certainly requires a better management of religious pluralism based on the principle of inclusiveness, which accommodates the need of all followers and believers in their quest for spiritual and moral well-being. The enforcement of religious freedom in Indonesia raises more complex problems as the freedom of expression is also advancing. For example, groups that previously did not dare to speak are now starting to appear in public and express their opinions, which have both positive and negative impacts. We still face challenges in promoting religious freedom in Indonesia. One of the problems that has recently emerged is violence against adherents of a religious minority, which is seen by the majority as having deviated from principle of their religion. The government has taken steps and measures to solve existing differences so as not to lead to conflict and violence. By enforcing prevailing laws and regulations, as well as involving soft power to find best solution in protecting all Indonesians without any discrimination. Critics blame the government for applying blasphemy laws in Indonesia. But what has gone wrong is not the law itself. The rule of law is required as a set of norms and code of conduct to maintain public order, peace, and security. It provides access to justice and protect the most vulnerable in our society. Blasphemy law is intended for maintaining interreligious harmony, but to be effective, it requires enhanced people's legal awareness and compliance. It requires a continued effort to build mutual understanding and enhance tolerance among our diverse religious society. We remain committed to addressing the challenges of enhancing religious freedom in Indonesia. Despite there have been some frictions among a small number of certain believers, in general, the majority of Indonesian people continue to live side by side harmoniously. Great tolerance toward other religion is also practiced by the society in daily life. It is common to see the tradition in Indonesia where neighbors with different religion share their joys over religious festivities. The government enforces a policy that all religious festivities are public holidays in Indonesia to encourage people to respect and join the celebration of different religions. This practice is deeply ingrained in Indonesian culture and tradition. Indonesia has been promoting interfaith dialogue at national and international level as a forum of exchange of views and discussion in order to create a better understanding and tolerance toward different religions and beliefs. This issue has also been a topic of discussion at Bali Democracy Forum as an annual event hosted by Indonesia and attended by world dignitaries. Religious radicalism and terrorism are also challenging issues for Indonesia to cope with. We continue to intensively working to prevent violent extremism in the society by establishing a counter-terrorism unit who works with religious leaders, prominent community leaders, as well as suspected convicted terrorists and returnee fighters from Syria who are prepared to cooperate after completing their rehabilitation process. We also work with other countries in the region to prevent cross-border terrorism and radicalism. In order to strengthen freedom of religion and belief through education, earlier this month, on June 8, 2022, the Director General of Human Rights under my office portfolio signed a cooperation agreement with the Lemena Institute, who is yesterday has talked about the work of Institute Lemena, the first day. Cooperation agreement with Lemena Institute, which in partnership with many other organizations has trained thousands of Indonesian teachers on cross-cultural religious literacy. As part of this cooperation, in September 2022, we plan to host an international virtual conference on religious freedom, rule of law, and cross-cultural religious literacy. It will be open to public, and hopefully you can all take part in the conference. All these efforts have contributed to the existence of social harmony in our diverse society, to the Indonesian's growing economic and political stability. Ladies and gentlemen, promoting religious freedom globally should be our joint effort in maintaining international justice, peace, and stability. We certainly can collaborate while maintaining each country's sovereignty and characteristic. The best approach is to engage in dialogues and exchange experience, and to help each other in addressing the existing challenges instead of criticizing policies taken by the governments. We are open to work with others in addressing the issue of religious freedom in the country. I thank you.